Okay.
And are we live? Are we dead?
Yeah. Hold on.
Greetings.
Okay. Come on. There it goes. Okay. We should be good now.
At here, Twitter's
Oh my
there.
gosh, that is wrong.
Yeah, you copied and pasted that for Twitter.
Stupid Twitter. All right, hold on. Okay.
I didn't know there was at here. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I just know at everyone.
Well, I mean, that pesters people who aren't on the platform at that time.
All right, so
I think it emails them or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm not good at the social medias. I am the worst at it.
We'll just wait just a tiny bit before we start.
No, we can just start.
No, I mean
because there's going to be people who kept the archive video, which is usually most people.
Okay.
Most people don't catch my streams live; they catch them late.
I was hoping for a little bit of live debate, but who knows?
There might be. So we're just going to kind of get started. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Tom.
I think we should just jump in with something that's pretty cut and dry.
First question: who is Dis?
Dis
instead of this.
Who is Dis?
D-I-S.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought there was a character named Dis.
No.
Like,
oh man, I trolled him. I trolled that already.
Hey, I'm normally asleep at this hour. Okay.
So go ahead and pull
staying up 2 days in a row over this game. Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah, all game we had this character, and then all of a sudden, you know, she was traveling with this whole game, or he was traveling with this whole game. Suddenly throws off the hat and reveals that this is who it is. And I saw in comments and stuff, people were all immediately like, "Is that Toriel?" And they've had pretty convincing arguments to why this character should be Toriel. Well, Schneider has the proof that this is not Toriel.
I just went and I looked around because his name is Rousey, and it's been pointed out Rousey is an anagram for Asriel.
I called you while I was at work, and I was like, check to see if it's an anagram of anyone.
But the interesting thing here is in the portraits, Rousey's horns are pointed outward when literally both of his parents' horns are pointed inwards. I'm like, because Asriel's not shown to have horns in the first game. This would be an older version of him, definitely, years in the future. And he's got glasses, just kind of like his mother does. She's got the reading glasses.
Yeah, and he tries to be like Mommy, too. He's constantly trying to teach people, do the tutorial kind of thing. Just our fuzzy prince is very much...
Yeah, because like in the first game, he just depicted as just a loving sibling. That so much he just cared and was working with you even when he doubted you.
So
he would keep working.
But this brings in all kinds of weird difficulties continuity-wise. That, well, for example, how would, the first question would be, if this is a sequel or a prequel. If this was a sequel, how would Asriel get better?
Yeah.
If this is a prequel, well, then it's okay then, except wait a minute, how's he so much older in this picture than what we saw in Undertale? Yeah. Oh, and the confusion begins.
The confusion begins because we have
this is the least confusing thing about Deltarune.
We've got two contradictions. This definitely seems to be a prequel based on several things. The first being...
Well, we'll go through piece by piece and then say whether we think it's a prequel or sequel. We're spoiling the end here.
I don't know.
Yeah, we think prequel is likely, but there's a couple other things. I'm leaning towards a slightly different interpretation, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get to our conclusions and our theories. And feel free to state your own theories as we go along.
Okay, so there was a connected thing to this, wasn't there? One of these?
There's the... Yeah.
Not that one. Hold on, we're going to pull something up. Okay, that's Mr. Golden's son. Okay, that's that. Oh, this one. Okay, 1 second.
That's what you want, okay.
Well, it's connected. Because you see that Asriel there has those red horns on. Wow. This conversation from Undertale. How's it going? this little thing here is actually a really interesting detail.
Yeah. I think I'll stick to some kind of alternate universe or Kara's playground for now.
We're getting to that theory too.
That's on the table.
It's on the table. It's absolutely on the. Actually, let's start with a few ground rules. Okay. 1, the game does not lie. It's full of deceptions, but nothing for it actually, like, because immediately when people were saying that our mage companion was Toriel, I was like, no, it can't be, because the game specifically calls him a prince and a fuzzy boy. Game cannot directly lie to us. Any theory that is directly contradicted like that is just out the window, because you can't. The moment you just take that the game's lying to you, like, there's no reality anymore.
You run into trouble. So, we've not hit Kingdom Hearts level confusion yet.
Oh dear.
Though there are some confusions.
There's definite confusion, but it's not insoluble. We can figure this stuff out. There's a couple of the ground rules. I can't remember them. I'm super tired.
Yeah, the game doesn't lie to you.
Game can't lie to us. We have to.
And there's just a series of red herrings, which I have.
Well, that's not a rule.
Assembled. So I don't know what the other rules are, man.
I had a couple of them.
I wish you'd told me, because then I could repeat them.
I'm sorry. I'm super tired. Like, I stayed up way late yesterday to play the game and regretted it all day.
I think I said that
now it's late again.
I said that alternate universe feels like a bit of a cop-out.
Oh, I'm just going to blow out of the water. It was all a dream. And it's all happening in Kara's head. Or Chris's head.
I can't wait till we blow Matt Pat out. But that
you
will
just
come
have
later.
it in for that guy, don't you? He's not here, okay? Look, here's Matt Pat's next theory. We'll shoot it out here. Somehow,
it's all a dream. That's Matt Pat.
He doesn't go for lame things. He goes for crazy shit. I mean, perfectly reasonable theories, and there's an even odds one of his staff will watch this as part of their research too.
I
don't
think we're big
we
enough.
should make it sting. His theory will be that secretly Kara was Pauline all along. Pauline.
Oh no. Okay, that hurt. Brain damage. Okay. So, but either way,
and that Pauline from Earthbound is the same Pauline from Mario.
True.
Same character.
I knew it.
All
a connected universe. But
okay, now
back on task. So this is from the ending of Deltarune. When you go back, and you ask her about herself. She's happy you grew up, but then she says this. I wanted to use this actually separately for my theory, so we'll come back to this in a bit.
Okay, this is from Deltarune?
This is from Deltarune.
Okay, that's why I didn't recognize it. I thought this was from Undertale.
Yeah, no, this is from Deltarune.
This is from Deltarune. Okay.
So, do you want us to start going into the red herrings of why things are a bit confusing? Because one of them was just the minorest one was Asriel.
Yeah, we started with the simplest thing. All right, how about the Susie thing?
The Susie there. All right.
Okay, we'll go do the Susie thing.
Yeah.
So this is just a straight up red herring, just to confuse.
Because I was talking about this during the run here, because I was just doing research on. I like this game, so I got into the nitty gritty. So when the Switch game came out, Gaster was given another character in the coding, and somebody found this thing here where you talk to his character, and it'll just mention that there's a neighbor's daughter about your age, and you want to be friends, and her name is Susie, which is as I cropped out Susie's name from this game at the top there, and I was getting the two confused. Because we don't apparently Susie's gonna be a different character.
He just added this to the Switch version, which I've never played, so I didn't know anything about this. He just dropped this into the game right before, like in the most recent release, before he put out Deltarune. This was intentional.
And they are going to be separate characters. Their names are spelled differently.
It's just an added, like, what? Why did you do this?
All right.
So what do you want to talk about?
That's the sun.
I know.
That's the
don't spoil it all. What do you want to talk about? Which one?
Okay. We could do Sans, because this is where we just start laying out evidence here that this is a prequel.
Might be a prequel.
I am pretty sure.
Okay. Well.
So go ahead and pull up any of them.
Because these are
and we'll start working.
discrepancies. Because you're looking at discrepancies in your theory of it being a prequel that you're pointing at.
Well,
and you're like, let's lay out how it's a prequel, and you point at something that says it's not a
well,
prequel.
I mean, in these cases here, I'm just lining up because these all four line up with this is just the future can't be changed. They're constantly giving you that message, or your choices don't matter. That's just being constantly. That's what the first one is, which makes me go, okay, this is a prequel. The timeline's already been decided.
Maybe not.
Yeah, so that was just.
Maybe it's just your choices don't matter.
Yep. So that was the. This was just the opening thing after you choose your character, and then a quote from a character later in the game. I'm not going to say who. Spoilers.
Anyone who's watching this has played the game.
Okay. Well,
no spoilers are all on the table. We waited 24 hours plus.
Okay.
Okay. Everything's on the table.
Yeah, you did mention the Susie thing. I just was clearing it up. Just so it's just.
So anyway, this is a thing. All right, so let's just move on.
And yeah, so that's a cat shop owner there, and like several times in the game, they're telling you your choices don't matter. That unlike the other game, so
which was all about choices.
It was all about choices. It's good contrast, but also makes me strike. This is all past. The past can't be changed, like Sans says. I wish I could go back, but the past can't be changed. Also, Sans here. He's new in town. We heard about that in Undertale that they just arrived one day. So this is somewhere in the underground.
Yeah. Now this does say this is an argument for prequel, but
so does Undyne not knowing Alphys and Temmie failing school and.
Temmie's not failing, is she?
Oh, she's in school, but
she's in school and she's studying to get into college, which we had to pay for later.
Yeah. But yeah, she screwed it up. So in Undertale, you have to do that later.
Okay, so here's one of your first discrepancies, though. One of the first problems with it being a prequel.
Yeah, because this one's an interesting one. Sans here has, in this game here, acknowledges having met Toriel, but at the very end in the pacifist run, you can pull those up there, Toriel 1 and 2.
So here Sans is saying that he's already met Toriel, already met your mom, but meanwhile, if we go back or forward or whatever, at the end of Undertale, hello, I think we may. Okay, now the second part of it. Shame it's not all stapled together for us. Know each other. This is part of a conversation she has where she's just like, that voice, I recognize it. And it's like these two have never met each other, like, face to face.
Yeah, so it's just a weird thing.
This discrepancy, this leads us to, stuck in some kind of alternate universe. We're going there. That's my theory.
I think
alternate timeline.
We're going to get there in a bit.
And that gets to, I think, that you can change things and do things because this isn't the main timeline. I don't know why everyone's telling you can't change things, but I don't trust it.
And the last discrepancy is the sun.
I would not, we'll get to that. I would not be surprised at all if decisions we made in the first chapter will affect later chapters somehow. If we're being told our choices don't matter and then we find out further on, out of nowhere, because it's Toby Fox, man, he's gonna mess with us.
Yeah, but I mean, like
he lives to mess with us.
There is no genocide route in Delta Rune. There is no genocide route. If you try to attack, all the enemies just run away.
I'm kind of disappointed to hear that.
Well, they keep telling you your choices don't matter because the same events will still happen.
But Asriel told us that we did make choices. He did. He said we did. All right, you want the sun thing?
Yeah, that's just the other big big discrepancy there because
it just. And then we'll get to the other things. We really should have done that. But all right, we'll do this one.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Golden Sun. I see you got Jacksepticeye still in there.
Yeah, I just
you just grabbed it.
Whole lot of
You just didn't feel like playing the entire game through twice today. To get this image, you had to steal it from Jack. Huh?
At the end of Undertale, they're all happy to see the sun, and they're celebrating it like there's just a part of funny clip from Papyrus. What's that giant ball? That's the sun. Oh, yeah, all that cool stuff. But And also in the end credits of Undertale, you see Toriel as a teacher wearing the same dress that she's wearing at the very beginning of Deltarune.
And this is frustratingly a red herring, but also the amount of light. You'd swear that you're on the surface in the sunlight during Deltarune, but if it's a prequel, we can't be. We don't see a single human other than Chris. Everyone's a monster. Like, we should be underground.
We're underground somehow, but there's just no sun. But there's sunlight.
But
so it's...
I mean, it's not like there wasn't light in the original game, but it just felt really outdoors, on the surface, sunlighty.
Yeah, this feels like we're above ground.
Undyne as a cop, like everything just deceptive. If it's a prequel, then he's just really screwing with us.
And where this is underground, I don't know. This is definitely not Snowden. I checked.
Yeah.
From what I've gathered, is that it can't be a prequel or sequel because detail point towards both directions. And the big thing is that the Deltarune takes place on surface because of the vegetation. No. Snowden had Christmas trees. There was trees in the underground.
There was forests.
There was forests.
You met Sans in a forest.
So
there was. Yeah, I know. It's like, oh my gosh, like this is a pain in the ass because there's so many details. Where you're like, well, obviously this means this. No, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Because Undertale was a weird game. You spent like hours just looking at the timeline trying to figure out when everything took place.
Yeah.
Because cars and cell phones and things, and it's like,
You have the same devices in both.
Yeah, you really
past
do.
and the present. So
yeah,
I think we've shown them all the images I have.
Well, I guess. So I guess we can just get into talking this thing through now.
All right, because don't we get my version first?
Go ahead. Give your expound upon your theory.
So my theory is there are 3 characters between these 2 games for the protagonist. There is Frisk from Undertale, there is Chris, and there is Kara, and they are 3 separate entities. But there are some overlap. In Undertale, you name the fallen human. And so, since in Undertale the name wasn't known to be Chris for the fallen human.
Yeah, we didn't know. We made up the name, so it's perfectly possible for Kara to be named Chris. I give you that.
Kara comes from somewhere, I don't know. But in the genocide route in Undertale, when you finally run into Kara, she goes, Frisk is your reincarnation. So there is a connection between Chris and Frisk. So that's step 1. I think that this game is sort of an alternate universe.
I thought that was my take.
I'm going to get to it. I just said, like I said, I think it's sort of technically an alternate timeline, wherein it first started off with you as Chris, before Kara takes you over, because it can do can rewind time and mess with save points with determination and whatnot. So that
we still haven't gotten to Gaster and actual time travel.
We haven't run into Gaster. But
it's got to be coming.
But I mean, Flyway was doing time travel with determination, going always back to the save point. So as soon as Kara takes over Chris, we can go back anywhere on the timeline that the person's lived. And so when Kara finally takes over and rewinds time at some point, that will be after that rewind. That will be the Undertale we know, wherein everything goes wrong when they're both much younger. Because Chris looks so much older.
So you think that they go back and they change time and it becomes the Undertale we know?
The Undertale we know, because the characters are a bit too old, and you don't have cars in Undertale. You do in the end credits.
Well, that's on the surface.
On the surface.
That's on the surface.
On the surface.
No, they didn't have any underground that we saw. And that's the other thing is that, well, we didn't see one, but that doesn't mean it didn't exist.
I spent a while looking at the cities because I was looking at the castle, the cities there. It all looked really masonry.
So here's a couple of things that I have, issues that I have with this whole thing. One that I find very difficult to get around. Your theory does account for it, but it's not quite. But your theory does account for this kind of, yeah. Okay. In Undertale, we know a few things about Kara definitively.
Mm-hmm.
One of those things is that Kara died, and Asriel had to carry his soul somehow. I forget the exact details.
He did. Oh, he ate. He was testing he was poisoned the king with the flowers, and then he ate them, and he died. And dying, Asriel said your dream was always to go and see the flowers on the field. So he absorbed the soul and grew strength so he could cross the boundary with the kid and took him all the way to the flower field.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he's attacked. What detail are you looking for?
Okay, the detail is Kara had a soul. Asriel ate that soul, and that soul was evil, and...
It was Kara. It tried to get him to kill everything.
At the end of this game, Kara rips her soul out and throws it in a birdcage. This is a problem. If the soul is not evil, not corrupt, and is a problem that Kara threw away and locked up, how does Kara have an evil soul? This bugs me.
Well, I'm thinking there's two people in a body. I'm thinking it's Chris and Kara's taking over, much like...
You think that another soul hopped in?
Yeah, well, at the very end of the genocide run, when you're talking to Kara says, "You have something I want, a soul. You have to give your soul to Kara. You have to sacrifice it."
But that's after everything.
So I think the thing. Well, I'm thinking that the identical thing happens in the past with Chris. Chris has to give his Kara doesn't have the control of the soul yet because it's not his soul. It's going to have to take it from him at some point, and it's throwing it in the cage for now. So that will be in chapter 2.
Gotta corrupt it.
Gotta corrupt it. Gotta take it over.
I'm still wondering where the evil thing came from. I mean, I thought it was that you rubbed the heart around in the fountain of evil at the end, and it's like that would contaminate you, maybe. Then again, it could have been it could have been Chris's time in the slammer.
Go ahead and pull up
all of 5 minutes with the shackles and the moss. That can change a man.
Eating the moss, that was it.
that can change a man. Time behind bars.
Go ahead and pull up the bedrooms.
Oh, right, the bedrooms. Yeah, you had a... Hold on a second. That was a really interesting thing that you did, yeah.
Yeah, I spent a while reading dialogue. I was reading through Flowey's dialogue. I was looking through Asriel's.
So here's the bedrooms in Undertale and the bedroom in Deltarune.
Yep. So obviously market similarities, the floor chairs in the house, but Asriel has every trophy, every award. He's the one in university. He's the good one, but Chris has nothing, and it's addressed several times that
even
Dr. Alfie's.
Even the bed is black and white, and so's the lamp.
Yeah. Dr. Alfie, for everything you have dolls in that one next to your bed, but in Deltarune you don't.
Hey, look, there's been like 7 more kids through there. Okay.
But Dr. Alfie's is shocked when you show up to class because it looks like you were regularly late or didn't show up. And you're told not to always be late. So your character is already kind of questionable, but it's more interesting in the post game. After you get back, you can see several other scenes where you visit a character's father in the hospital, and you see the scene, and they just start getting wigged out by you a bit, just going, "Why are you talking so much? Why are you so interested?" Toriel sees you and goes, "You should probably go to bed early. You look pale." And strange. But I don't know if it was the journey that changed you, if you always had Kara, and that you had some sort of inner anger building in you, even though you were quiet and silent, and your brother was this great, amazing, successful at everything. Everybody in town likes him, has a crush on him, wants to be with him. So something's going on with that, and that's definitely going to be more important.
I have no idea. What do you mean Frisk didn't have 2 souls? Frisk didn't have 2 souls.
No, he only
would he?
Frisk has 1. And at the very end, Kara claims it. Kara doesn't have a soul. I don't think Kara ever had a soul. I think that it's just some sort of leech.
But then what happened with Asriel picking up a soul of Kara?
Well, no. It was
anyway.
Chris who had we just have 3 people, 2 souls. Chris had a soul. Frisk had a soul.
And so Kara's just some outside force.
Kara's an outside force that it's kind of like the Heartless taking over.
Okay, so how did Kara get into Asriel?
We don't know. We don't have
because
enough
it
information.
happened when Asriel picked up Kara's soul. And I take that as the soul was corrupted and evil.
Oh, at that point, yes, because at that point, Kara already had. I mean, that was when Kara had Chris's soul. Chris was converted to Kara.
I'm going to give my theory now. This isn't
Okay.
long enough on yours. Okay, my theory that I'm going by.
I'll have to do maps and diagrams. That's all it is. I'm going to just have to draw it out so it makes sense. Get nerdy.
Okay, so my theory is just completely we're in an alternate timeline. Like, just so many of the things are just so strange. I can't say 100% whether we're on the surface as monsters or not, but we're clearly, Kara's a whole bunch older. Like, there's just so many things that don't quite line up that I think we're in an alternate timeline. And guess what? Time travel and alternate timelines are part of our story.
They're canon.
They're canon. They're totally canon. In fact, the fun value stuff and the random people you'd meet are because there's alternate timelines within Undertale itself.
We might be an alternate timeline where Undertale doesn't exist.
Yeah, I mean, Genocide Run, Pacifist Run, and all the in-betweens are all timelines that apparently coexist, to Sans's great dismay, apparently. So I think we're going to get into Gaster at some point. I would not at all be surprised if we can and do have effects on things, and the game is just pretending right now that we can't. And
you might answer that.
There's also the entire possibility that as later episodes are added, earlier episodes will be modified too. Yep. Go ahead, answer.
Yeah. So, can a character exist without a soul? Flowey.
Yeah.
Flowey.
Yeah.
I'm saying Kara doesn't have a soul. Like in the pacifist run after the genocide run, it's Kara's soul in you. They're controlling you. Frisk doesn't have a soul. You're basically having to share it with Kara, but it belongs to Kara technically. At that point, you're kind of the leech. You're having basically two people share one soul. But the game does have people without souls.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going with this is a completely alternate timeline. Now the weird thing to me is this darkness place. The fact that Kara and Asriel don't really seem to react at all. That, oh hey, that's my brother Asriel, or oh hey, that's my friend Kara. You had a line that you brought to my attention about Asriel coming over to play games.
Yeah, I couldn't find it, but I do remember that.
Okay, because I can't remember that.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll leave that alone for now. Somebody will find it, and we'll be like, oh, that's what it said. But anyway, it bugs me that the two don't acknowledge each other in any way, shape, or form. And it really feels like this closet to a darkness world is another time travel moment. I don't know who the knight is.
We don't know who the knight or the queen.
Or how the knight corrupted the king of spades.
Mm-hmm.
And probably corrupted Chris. Probably the same corruption. We don't know how that happened yet. Oh, by the way, I realized something today. Do you know why Prince Spade drives a bicycle?
Huh. I know Sans had a bicycle.
Do you know why the Spade has a bicycle? Why he
it was on the card. Was it on the card?
Because he puts it in his bed and everything. You know why?
Why?
Bicycle trading card or bicycle playing cards.
Okay, I
They're
figured.
bicycles. It's just a pun. It's just that's all.
Yeah. But when I was looking back at the shopkeep, the cat with the button eye, it was saying that the king had the Lightners and the Darkners had fought, and they got sealed in this area, and that feeling abandoned, the king became angered, and
That's what he says, and that may or may not be true, but I think he's been contaminated.
Well, I think that's again. I'm looking at parallels.
They keep saying that the knight changed everything.
Well, I'm looking at parallels. That the knight took advantage of something that already was. That he was already in despair and falling apart, and then he was corrupted. Chris was already in despair. No awards, no trophy.
Depression is the weak point that it seizes on.
Yeah, because I mean, like you look at Chris, and you're already seeing those parallels: the no trophy, the no acknowledgement, you're put in the way. The other students kind of push you around. No one wants to be your partner, and so the corruption is already affecting you. So I said I think there's parallels there.
Yeah, but I'm
It's nothing's confirmed yet. We're just guessing.
Yeah, I'm thinking that the closet thing took you. I want to say back in time, but we'll just say it's a parallel thing. I think I mean why not? If you can mess with time, why not just seal people in another time? We don't want to deal with these people anymore. We're just going to put them to some point in the past. I don't know. I feel like this is all going to come down to fractured timelines. That it's somewhere, somehow, it's all going to come to Gaster. And you know what? I'll even just say right now, Kara's probably what happened to Gaster. Chris probably is what went wrong with the experiment.
Yep. Well, we've also been told, from the legend in the Deltarune, the adventure is far from over because it said that the world would be, the Earth would start breathing its last sigh, like it's dying and it's withering.
I still think we fixed it when we
when we
rubbed our.
Well, we didn't meet the legend. The legend's not over. The conditions weren't met because it said that basically the world's falling apart when 3 heroes arrive. Like, just absolutely crumbling, everything's dying. And it's showing vast deserts.
We stepped into a thing, and it fell into another dimension. That's a fall apart, and then we were there, and everything's...
All he did was fight the king. We still have to go back, and we have to fight the knight. It said that, and the cat keeps saying that things are going to get far worse, that everyone's doomed. You going into the well will change nothing. Like, the cat, the cat was a court magician. And he's just going, yeah, when everything goes wrong, come back and we'll have some tea. He's just saying your stuff with the wall this is just the beginning, and that there are far more horrible things are waiting for you. So yes, no, the legend is not over, and we've left early. We think we have fixed the problem, but we haven't, and there's definitely a second fout somewhere because in the legend it showed 2, one at the castle and one on the horizon.
There's one that's supposed to be there. It's the second one that was the problem.
Yes, they shut one down, so there's gonna probably when we come back there'll probably be like 5 or 6 of them going off or something. Who knows?
So anyway,
so we have 2 different theories. If you guys have theories yourselves, please state. If you think one of us are right, go for it. Feel free to share around. This is going to be a fun game. But figuring out
what in the world is going on.
I'm gonna have to be like on the boards, like looking at to see what people dig up, because it's Toby Fox from his previous game is very tight knit stories.
He was a very tight knit story in Undertale.
So I am expecting the same, unless he just wants to troll us. Anything is possible, man. Anything's possible. Yeah. But I'm expecting a tight knit story. That this will all add up.
And it'll all add up, and we're just not given the pieces yet. Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing. Like, we're only in Chapter 1. If we could answer all the questions at Chapter 1...
That's true, too.
Alright, is there any new comments? I can't see.
What's the deal with Susie's mouth thing? I don't know what that means.
I don't know. She laughs several times, but I don't...
Oh, you mean that weird thing that she does that's creepy? That face that she makes all the time.
Oh, yeah, the slime, the evil face. I think that's just she has an evil face.
She's scary.
She might be filled with determination and melting slightly.
I don't think so. I think she's just scary.
But
she's a scary monster, and that's why she thinks that nobody would ever want to be her friend.
Yeah, because I like the only refutation to give to that is as soon as Undyne is filled with determination, she just starts like not just her face, but everything starts melting.
Yeah, I never did the genocide run, so I never saw any of that. I've only heard about it, and I'm like,
It's fascinating, man.
I'm sure it is, but I just finished spending like all this time making friends with them all, and then it's like, now you do the genocide. No, these are my friends. That's horrible.
You missed what happened to Flowey.
I don't care what happened to Flowey. He turned into a little boy, and we couldn't save him for some reason.
Okay,
that's what happened to Flowey. I got my ending.
Yeah, no, it's. That one's quite grim. with this release before Halloween, I was expecting a lot of grim stuff.
We got the grim ending.
We got the grim beginning. Just that area with all the blood. I have no idea what any of that was about.
Hey, from the very moment you weren't sure what was going on.
Why you have suddenly RPG classes? You suddenly have an axe.
When it's gonna bite your face off, and you're like, "What's going on?"
Why are you eating chalk? No, really. Why? Why are you eating chalk? Of all things, who eats chalk?
Susie.
Susie, apparently.
Answers your question.
Yeah, so no good answers on that. Something else we missed on our playthrough. Below the town, there's the woods goes down there, and then there's a slight mound with a door. It's locked. No idea what that's about. It's just sitting there in the post game.
Yeah. So, okay.
So maybe somebody there was a key to it somewhere. Maybe it's just a tease for chapter 2.
You're gonna just have to start digging around in the game, and you're gonna
no.
have to find it. It's your mission now. What's in there? It'll only take us, judging by how long it took Attack on Titan, I give you about 3-4 seasons, and then you'll find out what's in the door.
5 seasons later. Nope. Trolled. Nothing was in there. It's just a dog with a flare on and a shrine that you can just pay coins into, obviously.
It steals a legendary item and leaves you with dog residue.
Yeah.
Doggone you, cursed creature! Hey, dog residue is actually really useful.
Yeah, I'm just curious to know the timeline, because if someone can construct a timeline, like in Undertale, they don't really mention dates. It's very vague timeline. You're hearing about Kissy Kissy Mew Mew 1 and 2, and in this game, there's Kissy Kissy Mew Mew's out. So, it makes the timeline just even more confusing on when things came out and how they were shared around.
I don't know. Anyway, we're still putting this all together. So, until next time and every time, I have to go to bed.
This was pretty rad.
Bye.